Seniors, stop. What if your refrigerator is silently ruining your health every single day? It sounds impossible, right? But hidden inside that cold box are 9 common foods that react negatively to refrigeration in ways most seniors never hear about. This isn't just about taste or texture. We are talking about dangerous chemical changes, nutrient loss, and bacterial growth triggered by cold storage. And here's the scary part. Over 99% of people over 60 still refrigerate these foods without realizing the damage it's doing to their gut, heart, and even brain. Some experts now believe the modern obsession with refrigeration may be contributing to the rise in chronic illnesses. But today, we uncover the real science. We are revealing the 9 foods you should never refrigerate and the simple truth about how to store them safely. Wait until you hear about number 2 on our list. It might shock you the most. Before we begin, let us know in the comments below, where are you watching from? What is your age? And have you noticed any changes in taste when you refrigerate certain items? We read and reply to every single comment with personalized tips. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, let's get started. Here's something that might shock you. When you put potatoes in your refrigerator, you are literally creating a toxic compound. I'm not exaggerating. The cold temperature converts the potato starches into sugars through a process called cold-induced sweetening. When you cook these refrigerated potatoes at high temperatures, those sugars combine with amino acids to form acrylamide. The International Agency for Research on Cancer classifies acrylamide as a probable human carcinogen. A study from the University of Idaho found that potatoes stored at refrigerator temperatures showed a 300% increase in sugar content within just 2 weeks. That's triple the amount of sugar. The cold also breaks down the cell structure, making your potatoes gritty and unpleasantly sweet. Ever wonder why your mashed potatoes sometimes taste off? Now you know. The solution: keep them in a cool, dark place, around 45 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit, like a pantry, cellar, or a cardboard box. Darkness is key because light triggers the production of solanine, a toxic green compound. Store them in a paper bag or basket for air circulation. Pro tip: store your potatoes away from onions. They both release gases that make the others spoil faster. Keep them at least 3 feet apart. This one surprises everyone. Your refrigerator is actually making your bread go stale faster. Refrigeration accelerates a process called starch retrograding. This is where starch molecules crystallize and push out moisture. Researchers discovered that bread stored in the fridge stales 6 times faster than bread kept at room temperature. In just 3 days, refrigerated bread becomes hard and crumbly, while bread kept in room temperature stays fresh for a full week. The solution: store bread in a bread box or paper bag at room temperature to allow air circulation while maintaining humidity. Pro tip: if you can't finish a loaf in a week, slice it first, then freeze it. Freezing happens so fast that ice crystals don't damage the structure. When you need a slice, pop it straight from the freezer into the toaster. Don't thaw it first. Honey is nature's most perfect food. Archaeologists have found edible 3,000-year-old honey in Egyptian tombs. But if you put it in your refrigerator, you'll ruin it in weeks. Cold temperatures cause honey to crystallize rapidly, turning that smooth liquid into a grainy, hard mass. Even worse, the National Honey Board found that honey stored below 50 degrees F loses up to 35% of its antimicrobial properties. You are destroying the very compounds that make honey a natural antibiotic. The solution: store honey at room temperature, 64 to 75 degrees F, in a tightly sealed container away from direct sunlight. Pro tip: if your honey does crystallize, don't throw it out. Place the jar in warm water and stir gently to return it to liquid form without losing its benefits. Coffee lovers, brace yourselves. That expensive coffee in your fridge? You're destroying it. Coffee beans are porous sponges. They absorb odors from leftover food, cheese, and everything else in your fridge. Plus, temperature fluctuations create condensation on the beans, triggering mold growth. A study found that refrigerated coffee beans lose 60% of their aromatic compounds within just 1 week. When you grind cold beans, the solidified oils don't extract properly, leaving you with weak, flavorless coffee. The solution? Store coffee in an opaque, airtight container at room temperature. Light degrades quality, so keep it dark. Pro tip: if you must store coffee long-term, freeze it, but only once. Divide it into weekly portions. Never refreeze coffee, as the moisture damage from thawing and refreezing is irreversible. Garlic in the refrigerator is a disaster waiting to happen. The cold, moist environment causes garlic to sprout bitter green shoots and can trigger mold growth. Some of these molds produce mycotoxins, which are harmful to your health. Research from UC Davis showed that refrigerated garlic loses 50% of its allicin content within 10 days. Allicin is the medicinal compound that makes garlic antibacterial and heart healthy. By refrigerating it, you are throwing away half the benefits. The solution? Store garlic in a cool, dry place with good air circulation, like a mesh bag or basket, at around 60 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Never use plastic. Garlic needs to breathe. Pro tip: room temperature garlic releases its flavors more readily than cold garlic. Your cooking will taste noticeably better. Bananas and refrigerators are a match made in disaster. Bananas are tropical fruits that cannot handle the cold. Put them in the fridge and you cause chilling injury. The cells rupture, enzymes leak out, and the fruit turns black and mushy. Studies show that bananas stored below 56 degrees Fahrenheit lose 80% of their vitamin C content within 5 days. The cold also halts the ripening process completely, so no new nutrients develop. The solution? Store bananas at room temperature. Hang them on a banana hook to prevent bruising and allow ethylene gas to circulate. Pro tip: want to control ripening? To speed it up, put them in a paper bag with an apple. To slow it down, separate the bunch and wrap each stem in plastic wrap. This reduces gas release by 40%. Storing onions in the refrigerator might be the biggest mistake people make. The humidity in a fridge is around 95%, but onions need 65% or less. That excess moisture creates the perfect environment for black mold, which produces aflatoxins, some of the most carcinogenic substances known to science. Furthermore, cold temps convert onion starches into sugars. A study found a 270% increase in sugar content after 2 weeks in the fridge, turning your onions mushy and overly sweet. The solution? Store whole onions in a cool, dry, well-ventilated space like a pantry. Use a mesh bag or even pantyhose. Pro tip: keep them away from potatoes and direct sunlight. Note, once you cut an onion, that is the only time it goes in the fridge, in an airtight container for up to 7 days. We've reached the food that will shock you the most: tomatoes. The science here is undeniable. Researchers at the University of Florida found that refrigeration doesn't just affect taste, it turns off the genes responsible for flavor. Once these genes shut down, they never recover. The tomato becomes a flavorless red water balloon. More importantly for seniors, refrigeration reduces the availability of lycopene, a powerful antioxidant, by up to 65%. It also destroys the enzymes your body needs to absorb that lycopene. The solution? Store tomatoes stem side down at room temperature, 55 to 70 degrees F. Keep them out of direct sunlight, but not in a dark cabinet. Pro tip: if you have too many ripe tomatoes, make a sauce and freeze it.
Cooked tomato products actually provide more available lycopene than raw ones.
We save the most important for last. What happens to avocados in the refrigerator should be criminal. Avocados provide healthy fats essential for brain health in seniors. However, refrigeration destroys these fats through lipid peroxidation. Stanford researchers discovered that refrigerated avocados lose 90% of their antioxidant activity within 4 days. The cold triggers an enzyme that actively destroys the fruit from within, turning that creamy texture into a stringy, watery, oily mess. The solution: store unripe avocados at room temperature in a bowl. Once perfectly ripe, you can refrigerate them for a maximum of 2 days, but fresh is always best. Pro tip: only used half an avocado? Keep the pit in the unused half. Brush the flesh with lemon juice and store it in an airtight container with a piece of onion. The sulfur from the onion prevents browning without affecting the taste.
The truth about refrigeration has been hidden for too long. These 9 foods represent wasted money and lost nutrition. More importantly, they represent missed opportunities for better health in your golden years. Every nutrient counts when you're fighting aging and maintaining cognitive function. Don't let your refrigerator sabotage your efforts. Store these foods properly and reclaim their full nutritional power. Now, we want to hear from you. Which of these foods shocked you the most? Have you been refrigerating avocados or tomatoes for years without knowing the damage? Share your experiences in the comments below. We love hearing from you. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.